Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a game on this podcast. I just thought of it 1 second ago. It's called How Does This Make You Feel? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say a scenario, something I've observed recently. And I'm going to give you a second while I explain the situation. And you can kind of think of how you feel, and then I'll share how it made me feel. We have 6 very important, very fascinating observations I've made lately. And I'll go ahead and I'll start with our first one. I saw an old woman the other day. So I was on the tram and she was sitting in front of me, and I saw a midget waiting to cross the road up ahead. And I'm sitting there and I see the old woman on the tram. She looks like a bat too. She does not look good. She looks like she has some hanging like animal limbs in her basement. Her makeup is weird. Her hair is crazy female pattern baldness. She doesn't look like a pleasant woman. And I see her head turn. And when she sees the midget about to cross the road, and just this midget, he looks like a normal dude, except that he's small. He looks like he's doing well. He's got like a cool haircut. He's probably like 35. He's got like expensive clothes on. He's got a backpack, clearly on his way home from work. When I see this woman see that he is there, she immediately just started laughing. Now, how does that make you feel? Because for me, it made me feel good. I don't know why. You know, this dude, he seems like a good hang. He just seems like a normal guy. This woman seems like a lunatic. And it was just funny to see a human have a reaction at a little person and just laugh uncontrollably. Like it just was brought forth out of her. I don't know if she's not going to be able to hurt this guy. He's lived a whole life like this. He's pretty damn normal looking. I don't know. If to me, it was like such a funny, unique human interaction. Well, they didn't even interact, just a human dynamic that I got to watch unfold, and it made me feel good. I was like, oh, that was so funny. Next. A while ago, I saw a friend that I knew from high school who will remain nameless. And I went out with him and his college friends, and he said to me, he was kind of drunk a little bit, but he was like, dude, Drew, one of his new friends was Drew. He's like, Drew can always pull when we go to the bars. It's sick. Just watch him. Now, go ahead. How does that make you feel? Because I'll tell you, it enraged me. It made me so upset. It made me so, not even so, I was more angry than I was upset. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where do you have to be mentally and socially to get hyped about the prospect of one of your friends finding a loose woman at a bar to go make love to? Or like, what is going on? Oh, and by the way, he didn't that night. And it was like, what am I even doing here? This is insane. You know, like sometimes you and your friends go separate ways. It'll happen a lot in your life, and that's okay. Onward. I'm at a dispensary. I'm not saying I was smoking weed, but I was sitting at a dispensary with my girlfriend in Thailand. Apparently, weed is supposed to be illegal there, but it's also not. Like, you can also just go. So it's kind of like a bar, but for weed. And you go up, and there was this probably 23, 22-year-old guy. He seemed to be the manager, this Thai guy with pretty good English. And he was like, oh, yeah, this, and this. It's super cheap. And you're like, all right, cool. So you like sit down. And also working there, though, he's training. It looks like he's training like a probably like 19, 18-year-old girl who's also like training to work the dispensary, probably alone at some point, but she's training right now. And what was really nice about this is that, you know, we're sitting there, and then you kind of notice that they've disappeared. The two have disappeared, and it's just us there, and we're just chilling. Now, you see them come out of a small room together, and their hair is a little bit messed up, and they're like, they just went back to work, and they were like kind of giggling and looking at each other, and it was obvious what was going down. How does this make you feel? For me, it was really nice and sweet and beautiful to know that things like this could still happen in the world. Call me crazy. Now, could this ever happen in America? I'm sure it does. But if you caught someone doing this in America, would you feel a different way about it? If these were two whiteys going at it on their break, or not even on their break in America, would you be like, oh no, he's in a position, a superior position over her, and she can't consent because of that, and this and that? Or you're like, oh, he's a scumbag. You're like, oh, she's a whore, whatever. I'm like, no, look, dude, I think it's just some young Thai chillers just having some fun, maybe falling in love a little bit, or pretending to fall in love a little bit, but they're having a damn good night. And it made me feel good. I'm like, oh, it's so nice to know that the world isn't insane and that this can still happen. And these two can share this funny, goofy, sexy little night together. Maybe I'm crazy. Onward. Next one. I saw with my own eyes a kid with a trust fund and ultra wealthy parents. His parents are criminals, sitting in a hyperbaric chamber. And if you don't know what that is, good. It's like something rich people go in because they think it's healthy, but just exercise. But they're like, oh, I'll just do this instead. Yada, yada. It's dumb. But he's sitting in there and he's reading like a half self-help, half business book. And he has a highlighter and he won't stop. Like the whole page is yellow. Now, this one was tough for me because at first, anger. I'm completely angry. I'm like, what? This is what's wrong with the world. We have like people dying of famine and preventable disease. We have war going on for no reason, yada, yada, yada. And then in this side of the world over here, we have this absolute freak show. What the fuck is this? Like someone needs to hit this kid over the head and be like, dude, this isn't how the world works, by the way. Like, I know you're very lucky and it's great. And hopefully, you know, I want my kids to also be safe, but like, this is insane. You're insane. But then, you know, give it a few days, like in the moment, it's like angering. But then you think about it later and you're like, okay, that's actually really funny. It's actually really funny that this is going on. So I kind of oscillate back and forth on that one. I have a hard time planting my foot, but it, you know, if I had to, I'd probably say not great for the world, but funny that it happens. And some form of that will be happening for a very long time, I guess. What else? Okay, next one. I was working with a guy with disability. Sweet guy, probably 40, but he looks young. Doesn't matter. He's talking to a friend. And he's like, he showed a friend a Facebook message he got. And his friend goes, oh yeah, that's a gay guy. He's trying to do that to a ton of us. And my dude was laughing so hard at the fact that a gay guy tried to DM him. Oh my God. He was laughing so hard. He couldn't breathe. And he has asthma. So I'm like touching his shoulder. I'm like, you good, bro? He was laughing. We're in a mall, by the way. He's laughing so hard that a gay guy, probably also with disabilities, is like trying to hit him up. Oh my God. And this guy, he is such an infectious laugh. Like when he laughs, you just feel so good. You're like, oh my God, this is insane. This dude just cannot stop dying laughing at the fact that a gay guy tried to hook up with him on Facebook. Now, for me, that made me feel, that was a highlight of my week. I couldn't stop laughing just because his laughter is so infectious, because it's such a hilarious thing. And it's so funny too, that like he thought the situation was funny. Like he didn't get mad. He didn't feel any sort of way about it. He didn't respond, but he just couldn't stop laughing at the fact that this happened to him when he opened up Facebook. I loved it. It just made me so happy. All right. We got one more. Here it is. I was volunteering, visiting some guy living in some home, and there's daytime television. And there's daytime television sometimes playing when I go to the gym in the morning. And here, just in case you haven't turned on cable news in the morning or daytime in a while, let me tell you what goes on there. There was this one segment where this woman was in, and she had like a rack of clothes behind her, and she was showing the hosts a particular outfit ensemble worn by a character on the new season of Euphoria. Talking to the camera, and there's like There are like QR codes on the screen for where you can go buy similar outfits. Also, there are people saying, oh, work from home. This is how you put your paperweight here and your lamp here and your monitor there and your keyboard there. That way you don't want to kill yourself while you're working from home. And then you have the people sitting like they're so cheesy. They like the hosts of these shows. They sit there in their suit and their dress and they're like, they have this fake jackal smile on their face. They might be, honestly, I think they're vampires. And they're sitting there go, oh my gosh, that's so genius. That's such a good idea. Like, just trying to convince people to rearrange the items on their desks so that they don't kill themselves working for some conglomerate and they don't even understand what their job is, and they're kind of just siphoning money away from things that money could go towards, like feeding kids or educating people. Like, I don't know. Very silly. What else? Power banks. They go, oh, buy this power bank for your grandson. If he has an iPhone or an Android, it'll work. USB-C. Really good. And then they have like a phone number. They're like, call now. It's the same thing with sunglasses. They're like, call now. You only need to buy one, and we'll send you 4 extras for 3 easy payments of $19.97. And you're like, it's very clear that no sane person would ever buy a thing. And the only person who would ever buy that thing is like a very old person who's kind of losing their faculties and sense of reality. Yet, their kids haven't had that talk. They've gotten them off the road. They've said, Dad, you gotten 3 fender benders in the last 2 months. We're going to have to take your keys and sell the car. And it actually works out because my daughter, your granddaughter, Jenny, she actually needs a car. So we'll give you $2,000 and she'll use the car, but we just can't have you on the road anymore because you might kill somebody. And he like reluctant. He's like, but he knows they're right. But he feels this need to like put up a fuss. We'll call him Gary. And Gary's like, you kids you're trying to kill me. You're trying to control me. And he gives the keys over, but it's a front. He knows he can't drive anymore. He's going to kill someone. He got a fender bender in the playground parking lot because he brought his grandson to the park and he almost killed someone. He was in reverse and he almost ran over a stroller. That's who's purchasing these products. But Gary's son and daughter haven't had that conversation with him yet regarding finances, saying like, hey, Dad, we noticed that you spent $400 watching daytime television last month, and we feel like you're getting taken advantage of. And he's going to be like, oh, it's the last, you kids just really want, oh, I know what this is about. Just wait until I rewrite my will. Because it's the last thing that he feels like he can hold on to. This is money he earned during his life, and he'll be damned if you can't let him buy an off-season cruise where you're in Alaska, but it's during the winter and your cruise ship might get frozen and you can't move for 3 weeks. But this is what they do because they have cruise ships. They have too many cruise ships for the off-peak season. So they just try to get people on the boat to eat too much and like make sure that the staff like takes their stuff, the cleaning staff, whatever. Call this number. Now they use QR codes. That's the new call this number. There are QR codes on the screen. In case you didn't know that, there are QR codes all over the place. So you can, within a matter of seconds, you can buy a Norwegian cruise line off season during typhoon season somewhere, and you might get capsized. Pretty cool. Another one they'll say too, this is really going on a tangent, by the way. Good thing it's the last one. They'll say, oh, the royal family was in this country and ate dinner. Like, okay. Sick. Okay. Maybe I might have shown my hand a little bit on how this made me feel, but I'll give you an opportunity to unbiased, tell me how daytime television makes you feel. Me too. Yeah, it feels like we're being controlled. It feels like you're just kind of preying on people who are losing faculties over their lives. And it's very clear that we're trying to be brainwashed if you've ever laid your eyes on daytime television. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It probably depends on your stance on like lizard people and Epstein and whatnot. But I'll not throw my values at you because who really cares, you know? I think this was fun. Okay. Later,